This is Film Focus with Emily Cook.
Welcome to the fourth episode of Film Focus, the March edition. In this episode, I'll be joined by my co-host Sarah, and we'll discuss new releases, London Has Fallen, and the latest offering from the Coen Brothers, Hail Ceasar. Our special guest joining us a little later is Lindsey Suter, leading industry consumer technologist, who will take us on an exclusive tour of the BBC's flagship Blue Room, where, like a child in a chocolate factory, I'll get to delve into the submersive world of virtual reality, explore 360 capture, and learn about the future of consumer viewing patterns, robots, gadgets, and the next generation of technology before it hits the high street and our homes. We'll let you know of any filmmaking opportunities and events on the horizon, and if that wasn't enough, we're going to be giving our alternative take on this year's Oscar winners. Sarah, our resident film fan who watches at least 7 feature films a week, is joining us now. Hello, Sarah.
Hi, Emily. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Yes, I'm feeling
good.
tip-top. Let's have a look at our featured films this week. The Coen Brothers' latest film, Hail Ceasar, is a self-reflexive meta-comedy about Hollywood, starring everyone in Hollywood. Well, almost everyone.
We're going to give it to them.
And action.
An army of technicians and actors and top-notch artistic people are working hard to bring to the screen our biggest release of the year.
The film follows the story of studio head Eddie Mannix, played by Josh Brolin, whose A-list actor, Braid Whitlock, played by George Clooney, has been kidnapped during their production of their latest prestige picture, aptly titled Hail Ceasar. The film follows several storylines simultaneously, which interact with one another. Tilda Swinton plays twin gossip columnists, Ralph Fiennes is an auteur-director, Frances McDormand is a frazzled film editor, and Jonah Hill is an equally frazzled accountant. It also stars Scarlett Johansson in a mermaid costume and a tap-dancing Channing Tatum in a sailor suit. What did you make of it, Sarah?
I saw the preview of Hail Ceasar, so saw it a little bit early at the beautiful Gate Cinema in Notting Hill. It really is absolutely gorgeous, and what a fitting place to watch a film about old Hollywood.
Yeah.
Also, added to that, I'd had a couple of drinks when I went there, so I was in the mood to have some laughs and watch something light-hearted. And I wasn't disappointed. I thought it was a wonderful blend of Hollywood glamour, dance numbers, synchronised swimming routines, lots and lots of surreal moments. What more could you expect from the Coen Brothers?
Well, in general, I agree with you. I am a huge fan of the Coen Brothers. I loved Fargo, No Country for Old Men, and the 2001 neo-noir, The Man Who Wasn't There. That's one of my favourite films.
The more serious ones,
Yeah,
I would say.
So I had high hopes for this film. I went to see the film in Notting Hill over the weekend, actually. I appreciate that it's a trope of the Coen Brothers to deal with the trivial and light-hearted, but although the film was a lot of fun, I found it very, very superficial. I thought it lacked substance. I don't feel that the plot lines tied in with each other well enough either. Clooney served up some sterling acting, I think, with some brilliant timing, and Scarlett Johansson's character was a lot of fun. She had a really hilarious accent that she used. It was fun seeing her do a different role. But I don't think the writing actually gave the other actors much to work with.
I think I disagree. I really loved the cowboy character played by Alden Ehrenreich. He was one of my favourites, and that bit where he's having the conversation with Ralph Fiennes was absolutely brilliant. Kept laughing later in the film.
There's a very, very long scene, basically. Lawrence Loren, the director played by Ralph Fiennes, trying to get Alden Ehrenreich to pronounce his lines correctly.
Okay, so... Would that it were so simple.
Would that it were so simple.
Would that it were so simple. Trippingly.
Would that it were so simple. Trippingly.
No, don't say trippingly. Say the line trippingly.
I also enjoyed the Coen Brothers' employment of familiar faces, in particular Frances McDormand. She's a recurrent hire of theirs, and she has an absolutely hilarious scene in this film, which was probably the moment I laughed the most.
Yeah, I know the one you mean.
Yes.
To be honest, I didn't actually realise she was married to Joel Coen.
Really?
It totally escaped me, but that's not to suggest that she's not fantastic, because obviously she is.
Yes, so that's really interesting. I think basically it's a ridiculous, fun and trivial love letter to Hollywood. For more on the Coens, please check out our blog, Stories of the Common Man, a critique of the Coen Brothers, which is up on our blog now.
Wondering what's going on?
An attack has decimated the British capital.
London Has Fallen is the latest film from director Babak Najafi, which follows on from his 2013 film Olympus Has Fallen. London Has Fallen stars Gerard Butler, Aaron Eckhart and Morgan Freeman. After the British Prime Minister passes away, his funeral becomes the target for a terrorist organisation to destroy some of the world's most powerful leaders. The only hope for stopping it rests on the shoulders of the President of the United States and his formidable Secret Service head, Gerard Butler, and an English MI6 agent, Charlotte Riley, rightly trusts no one. Morgan Freeman also stars as the Vice President of the United States. What's your thoughts on this, Sarah?
I'm pleased to say I've not seen this one. I liked the premise of the original film Olympus Has Fallen. The trailer for London Has Fallen gave the impression the film was quite poorly put together, I thought, so I didn't really fancy losing an hour and 40 minutes of my life watching it, to be brutally honest.
Well, it was an hour and 37 minutes, believe me, I was counting. I saw it at the weekend, and I feel that given the recent Paris attacks and the current feeling in London, this film is in pretty bad taste. I feel it's been served up as a formulaic terrorist film, pandering to the American rather than the British audience. It made for pretty uncomfortable viewing in a central London cinema. The first third was difficult watching because of this, and the not so special effects also were rather difficult to watch. If you like films with lots of shooting, car chases, unnecessary swearing, cheap explosions, which are all in bad taste given the current social climate, then you'll love this film.
Oh my God.
Here at Film Focus, we love to speak with special guests from the world of film and television, and this episode is no exception. We've organised something a little bit special for you. The other day, I met up with Lindsey Suter, leading industry consumer technologist, for an exclusive film tour of the BBC's flagship tech lab, known as the Blue Room, normally not accessible to the general public. We delve into the submersive world of virtual reality, explore 360 capture and talk about robots, gadgets and the future of broadcast and cinema, and discover the next generation of technology before it hits the high street and our homes. I'm here at the BBC Blue Room with leading consumer technologist Lindsey, who is an expert in all things high-tech and gadgety. We are surrounded here by the latest technology, including robots, virtual reality, and every smart TV you could possibly imagine. Hello, Lindsey.
Hi, hello, Emily. Great to have you here in Blue Room. It's exciting.
It is.
It's good. Yeah.
So, can you tell me what the Blue Room is in a nutshell?
So, the BBC Blue Room it's our consumer tech lab for the BBC to show how the landscape of consumer tech is changing and really, really rapidly and having a massive impact on broadcast. How we're viewing, how we're engaging with content, interacting with it, and just how rapidly that's changing.
We're surrounded by screens and lights. There's movement all the way around us, and I'm not actually sure how many platforms we're currently being broadcast on. Why is the Blue Room so essential?
I think the Blue Room's really, it's the zeitgeist. The world is about consumer tech at the moment. Watching on different devices, wearables, have come into the market and exploded. Teenage viewing habits are changing with apps. So I think it's hugely important at the moment and really relevant to everyone working in broadcast, to how we make films, how we create content for television, and how we engage the future, how we look to captivate and tell amazing stories on all of these platforms that you can see around Blue Room. There's probably over 50 screens in here, wow, all with loads and loads of apps on them.
That's quite incredible.
It is incredible. I think I heard a stat recently on YouTube. 1 month alone, there was 6 billion hours of unique content, and that for me, wow, it blew my mind. They're all fighting for your attention. You'll see cinemas pushing content direct to your living room. So in a way, it's the battle for the living room, captivating the audience for your films, for your television content. It's exciting. It's a really exciting time, and it changes so rapidly.
How do you see these kinds of technologies affecting our viewing patterns in the next 5 years, the very near future?
All of the kind of big players like Google, Apple are really fighting for all of our attention in whatever way they can, and it will all be connected. It will all be over internet.
Lindsey, you've kindly said you're going to show us around a little bit and show us some of the hot topics within this room.
Great. Let's wander over to our audience area just over here. This is our teenager's bedroom that that we've built. And the idea for this is to look at teenage consumption habits and how they're changing and what the impact of that is on all the content that we make. Short form content is becoming a big thing in the world of teenagers. They're viewing through a lot of apps like Snapchat, WhatsApp, YouNow TV is another one where they're going to. So viewing habits are really changing, and it's not, I think there are a couple of things going on. One is teenagers are viewing content within their little window, and that brings really innovative content because it's shorter. It's, you know, it could be 7 seconds, it could be 5 seconds, it could be 30 seconds. But there's not, I think there's still the demand for the big screen, the cinema. So they want a couple of things. One is that really quick short form content, and another one is, you know, is that experience of what we were talking about earlier, the great sound and the great pictures.
Thank goodness there's still that need.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the aspects we show in the teenager's bedroom is looking at social media and how that's having an impact on teenagers and how they are the heads down generation. So is it having an impact on attention spans? Is it having an impact on what kind of content you want in terms of the length of content or the genres of content, what lends itself to mobile devices or big screen. So that's another kind of quite a big thing for the teenager's bedroom. This audience is changing the landscape of that is fascinating, and it'll be fascinating to see what comes, you know, within the next 5 years as well.
Absolutely. So what else are we going to look at?
So we've also got, if we just wander over here, we can take a look at 360. So
amazing.
The world of 360 capture, 360 viewing, again, is a hot topic at the moment. And over here we've got various 360 cameras. So how does this one work? So most of them are the same now. So they've got a series of lenses. So you can see that this has got 5 lenses in this. You've got one on the top and then going all the way around the sides. And then you get various software that stitches your material together. And then you've got these other 360 cameras, which are your periscope type camera.
Can I hold it?
Periscope type lens rather, which is quite heavy. So the idea for this is you would pop that on the end of a DSLR. So not like the camera that you're shooting on now. So you'd pop this on the end and that would shoot 360 content for you.
Incredible.
And then what else have we got over here?
It's quite compact as well. That's the thing with all these gadgety items. They're very compact. I'm sure in about 5 years' time that will be as thin as a credit card, like the TVs.
Yeah, it will be. You can see trends, and one of the trends with this is that 360 cameras they're getting smaller, they're getting better. Then one of the trends this year, I think, will be 360 4K cameras. So stepping up the quality of footage that we're seeing at the moment. A lot of 360 content that we're seeing, the resolution isn't that great. So I think we'll see a real move to 8K, 4K capture in 360, and that's your ultimate kind of resolution and fantastic picture.
How can 360 capture be used? I mean, theatre performances are a great example, one-offs where they create the world that you then get to experience. I mean, that's an option. Where else does it kind of come into its own?
At the moment it's lots of tests. So there are lots of tests around, so we've got one here around Calais migrants and some interactive content that you can you're spinning around, you're looking over here or you're looking in front, behind you, to the sides. So you've got your news kind of genre there, and you've got your drama. I think drama is a little harder because it takes incredible direction and editorial to actually get it right. But it's also something that we've been doing in theatre for years. National Theatre, to have a theatre in the round that spins around, so there's already that wanting or demand from viewers, to have that interactive experience. So I think we'll see, in the world of 360, we'll see some really, really inventive, creative, exploratory content, whether it's drama, whether it's natural history would be amazing. There are certain genres that really lend themselves to that type of technology, to 360 filming. So it will depend on the genre of content. It will be really important and integral to what viewers actually want to watch on 360.
And those opportunities to transport you to somewhere else, that kind of world that you otherwise wouldn't have access to. I mean, that's where it really comes into its own.
Immersive is the pinnacle for all of this, for 360 content, for virtual reality content. The whole purpose of it is to be immersed further into what you're viewing. So as opposed to passive television experience or film experience, it's your lean forward, interactive, you're looking 360, you're reaching out, you're kind of jumping back. And that's what, we've got a series of virtual reality headsets just over here, and that's what that looks at, is the real, the leap from, just 360 where you're watching program content to that interactive, immersive experience.
Can we have a look at them? Let's
do it, yes. Okay. Let's have a look. Over here we've got 3 virtual reality headsets. So starting with the basic, if you like, which is Google Cardboard. So you unwrap it like that, open it like that. You download the Google Cardboard app, you'd pop your phone in.
Do you have to have a particular phone?
No, you don't. So that's the beauty of it. It's not, this is a really zero kind of money device. It's just, it's a piece of cardboard. You pop any phone in it, you download the app, and then you look inside and you can have a look at anything from Strictly Come Dancing to Saturday Night Live to gaming to anything.
So what are you seeing now?
Right now I'm seeing Strictly Come Dancing in 360. So this was a test the BBC did a few months back, and I'm seeing dancers, I'm seeing cameras, I'm seeing lights, I'm on top of a piano. That's pretty incredible. And the idea with it is to give you that view that you wouldn't normally have. So, I wouldn't normally be on top of the piano and, watching Strictly Come Dancing.
It gives you extra access, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
A unique way of looking at things.
It does, yeah, absolutely. So here we've got the Gear VR. So again, you take the front off, you take your phone, you download the, on this one you download the Oculus VR app, you pop that in there like that. This you need a specific phone for it.
It's a bit more sturdy as well.
It is a bit more sturdy, and this, so whereas the Google Cardboard is a completely passive device, this one is slightly more, not technical, but you've got a touch sidebar here where you can command different actions within the content you're watching. So if I put that on, tap the touchpad, and I'm in a world of content now. So I'm just going to tap the sidebar here, go into Cirque du Soleil, and I'm immersed into a world of 360 theatre.
May I have a go?
And it's incredible, of course.
I can't miss the opportunity.
Please do. Let me just go into it for real, so it's a bit...
Go into it for real? Yeah. I feel like you're going to disappear in a minute. Oh.
There we go, you're immersed.
Sounds exciting.
You're immersed into 360 theatre.
Hopefully it's not something scary. Oh, my word. So there's a whole load of people waving at me. This is very bizarre because I'm aware that you're about a foot away from me, but I'm in a theatre and there's a chair. Somebody's just brought a chair over to me over here, and 2 people are coming from the distance, and there are some people doing acrobatics in the air, coming down on a rope. This is incredible. But I'm also aware that I'm standing in the blue room. I hope I am.
I didn't want to say anything because it's great when, if you don't speak when someone else has got it on, it's really good, you get further immersed. But if you speak, you're also aware that you're in the room. But it is, that
is incredible. That is really amazing experience. How is this one different?
Oculus is the one that you need, powerful PC, which we've got just behind here. So what can I see? So there's a really large whale just there, right in front of me. I'm not referring to either of you, I promise. And this fish, if I reach out, I feel like I'm touching the fish, and it's an amazing experience. Just, I'm totally immersed underwater, and there's a giant kind of whale swimming around me. So there are 3 virtual reality headsets, and there are loads out there. They're all different. It's a time for exploring all of these devices and creating content for them.
And when can we expect these to be affordable in our own homes?
Like anything, you've got your kind of your entry point right up to your high-end devices. So people like Oculus and HTC, they'll be your kind of higher end. So you've got both ends of the spectrum there if you want to check out immersive content on them.
For those who are listening and have been inspired by what we've discovered today here in the Blue Room, how would you suggest they go about getting involved in this world of technology and gadgets?
For me, it's about passion. So it's about pick a focus area. So it's great to have a focus area that you're really passionate about. You can see that when you talk to someone, you can tell that they're enthusiastic and they really believe in it. So it would be a little bit of being in the right place at the right time, of picking a focus area and just doing things a bit left field as well, like contacting people in different ways and connecting with people you want to work with or create content with. I'm a massive believer in the person, and if you shine that light, someone will notice it.
Do you think it's more of a challenge being a woman getting into this industry, or do you think that hasn't played a part?
I do think it's a challenge being a woman in this industry sometimes. I mean, it's still very, very male dominated. I find myself sitting around tables of 10 guys and it's me in the room talking about technology. So it's still very dominated by males in the industry. I don't see it as a barrier. If you're passionate about something, then just go for it and do it. And there's masses of room for women in technology. It's about passion.
Breaking down that stereotype though, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it is. In an ideal world, it would just be anyone in technology. We wouldn't have to have conversations about we need more women in technology, we need more coders. There are loads of people kind of paving the way. All the women in tech groups are fantastic for kind of empowering and strengthening and giving confidence to women to be in this world and really stand up and present, to talk, to learn about technology and share their learnings with other people.
With there being so much connected media and it coming to our own living rooms, do you still feel there's a place for the cinema experience?
I still think there's a massive place for the cinema experience. With all of this technology, there can be a move away from quality. So I think there's a couple of things going on. One is how we buy televisions. I think we used to buy televisions by picture. So you'd go for, say, plasma, LED, LCD. There's been a slight shift into what apps. Okay, so I want iPlayer sitting next to Netflix, sitting next to BBC Sport. So I'm going to buy this device based on that. And with that, so TVs have got a lot thinner. So I think the thinnest one I've seen is like a credit card size.
Really?
It was bonkers. So TVs have got a thinner, which brings in the whole sound quality thing. So there's nothing better than going to the movies and experiencing an amazing film, amazing sound, great 4K pictures, ultra high definition, or 8K, heaven forbid, which I think Japan and people like that have already moved on to.
Wow.
The cinematic experience is one that's really still cherished and epic. We love the movies. We love
I have to agree with you. I really hope that endures and we don't lose that, because it's very important.
So if you'd like to connect with Blue Room, which we would love you all to, our Twitter handle is @BBC Blue Room. When people send a tweet to us, we've got a connected area in Blue Room. So we call it our things area. And we've got a light bulb that is a Wi-Fi enabled light bulb. And whenever you send a tweet to us, that light bulb flashes pink. So it'll make our day.
Thank you so much for having us round and showing us all of this technology here and talking about the future of TV, film, broadcast, gadgets, new media. There's just so much that we've covered. Fascinating. Thank you so much for joining us. I've really enjoyed looking around here and there's so much to look at. It's been great. Thank you.
Very welcome indeed, anytime.
We'll be back.
Good.
That's incredible. The future really is now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what better time for women to get involved?
Exactly.
And what was your favourite part of the Blue Room? I'm keen to know, Emily.
I really enjoyed trying the virtual reality headsets. The one that showed the Cirque du Soleil was particularly impressive. It's bizarre. You forget where you are completely. Each episode we discuss a film genre, theme or topic, and with it being the awards season, we thought we'd give you our alternative take on the Oscars. The most coveted cinematic award, the 2016 Oscars, were presented at the 88th Academy Awards ceremony on the 29th of February 2016. Here are some of our favourite categories, who the winners were and who we thought should have won.
So first up, let's have a look at the Best Picture category, for which the nominees were The Big Short, Bridge of Spies, Brooklyn, Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, The Revenant, Room and Spotlight. And the award went to
Spotlight. I actually had two favourites for this category. My main contenders for the award were Spotlight and Room, so I'm delighted that it won. I like the idea of Room taking Best Picture, as it's clearly the underdog in this category, at least financially, with a meagre budget of $6 million, as opposed to Mad Max Fury Road's whopping $150 million budget. It's satisfying and promising to see lower budget films holding their own at this and other award ceremonies against the more commercially high production value and CGI drenched blockbusters such as Mad Max Fury Road. As we outlined in our review of Spotlight the other month, it's most definitely one of our favourite pictures of 2015-2016.
Just to add to it, I don't think it would ever have got the award, but I do want to give a mini shout out to The Martian. I thought it was really original, exciting to watch, and Matt Damon did an incredible job of keeping the audience interested, bearing in mind the viewer stays with him for a lot of the movie. I do completely agree with your comments though. I'm really pleased Spotlight got the award. Now on to the category of actress in a leading role. The nominations included Cate Blanchett in Carol, Brie Larson in Room, Jennifer Lawrence in Joy, Charlotte Rampling in 45 Years, and Saoirse Ronan in Brooklyn. And the award went to Brie Larson for her performance in Room.
What a tough list of nominations to select a favourite from, but I feel a great decision was made with Brie Larson in Room. Innocent, raw and beautifully acted, Room relies on the performances of two main characters, Ma, Brie Larson, and her son, 5-year-old Jack, played by Jacob Tremblay, who deliver captivating performances which reinforce an entirely beautiful and heartbreaking bond between parent and child. Their on-screen chemistry and delivery of clearly written dialogue truly immerse the viewer into the world within Room and their touching bond. Another strong performance came from Saoirse Ronan in Brooklyn. Ever since I saw a preview screening of Brooklyn at the London Film Festival last year, I was keen for it to do well at the Oscars, and so was over the moon to see her up for a nomination, and also the film being up for Best Picture. It's rare that we see a film rely on one strong female lead to carry the story, especially when the character is displayed as human, multidimensional and realistically flawed. I thought this was really refreshing because so often we see two-dimensional portrayals of women. I thought it was a realistic representation of a 20th century woman and the social pressures she faces throughout the film.
This was a really tough one for me, as I thought the nominees were all really deserving in their own way. Jennifer Lawrence is a fantastic actor and did a brilliant job in Joy, but I also love Charlotte Rampling's portrayal of Kate in 45 Years, a really, really good movie. But to be honest, I think I'd have been happy if anyone had received the award.
Great list of nominees. Next up we have actor in a leading role. The nominations included Bryan Cranston in Trumbo, Matt Damon in The Martian, Leonardo DiCaprio in The Revenant, Michael Fassbender in Steve Jobs, and Eddie Redmayne in The Danish Girl. And the winner was Leonardo DiCaprio for his performance in The Revenant.
I think despite the fact, again, the nominees were all absolutely amazing, their performances were great, I really felt as if Leonardo DiCaprio particularly shone in The Revenant. It's about time he got his Oscar. I'm very glad that he did.
I think a lot of people are glad that he did. Long overdue.
Him being most glad, I should imagine. His dedication to creating that credible character in The Revenant went really above and beyond where most actors would draw the line, and the result meant that the audiences were provided with a gut-wrenching portrayal of a man who has really lost everything and will never give up seeking retribution for the crimes committed against him. I really got behind his character. I loved it.
I can see you did. Next on to the Oscar for Best Costume Design. The nominations included Carol, Cinderella, The Danish Girl, Mad Max Fury Road and The Revenant.
And the winner was Jenny Bevan for Mad Max Fury Road.
Overall, I agree with the award allocation, although part of me would have loved to have seen Sandy Powell's costume design in Cinderella take the prize. Undoubtedly, there's something special about the magical blue ball gown that Cinderella wore in the film. But alas, the pristine fairy tale tulle was torn apart at the awards ceremony to make way for the oil-stained, sand-parched, leather-buckled, blood-soaked, sweat-stained and diesel-drenched costumes of Mad Max Fury Road. Making up one of 6 Oscars that Mad Max Fury Road won that night, we feel Jenny Bevan's costume design is well deserving of the award. Charged with dressing the inhabitants of a future dystopia desert wasteland where gasoline and water are scarce commodities, Bevan and her team expertly convey characteristics and the human commodity value of a number of tribes, wives, warlords and gangs through their dress and adornments.
I definitely agree. I think the Mad Max costume design was really, really great. I also liked, though, the costume design for Carol. I thought that, you know, the beautiful tailoring, the elegant shapes synonymous with that decade were really well rendered by Sandy Powell. And, you know, it was nice to see what she kind of did creatively.
So Sandy Powell did both Cinderella and Carol?
She did,
That's
yes.
Very interesting. Clearly knows her stuff.
And the final category we're going to be looking at is writing original screenplay, for which nominations were Bridge of Spies, Ex Machina, Inside Out, Spotlight, Straight Outta Compton. And the award went to Spotlight.
I was so pleased to see Spotlight take the award for this category. Not only is the film well written as a story and engaging and entertaining to the viewer, but it also helped to raise awareness of important taboo issues such as paedophilia and child abuse within these institutions. By dealing with these sensitive topics through the medium of fictional film based on a true story, these issues are made more palatable to a mass market who might not otherwise choose to look into factual avenues regarding such topics. Seeing actors go through trials and tribulations linking to these issues can potentially give strength to viewers, and I think that's really important that we have films like this.
Yeah, I totally agree. I also thought though that Ex Machina was equally deserving in some ways, just in terms of its originality. It was imaginative, well crafted, for me a near perfect screenplay actually. So Alex Garland, well done on that one.
You'll find more on this topic, including trailers, posters and links to the films on our blog. Links will also be in the video and audio file description box below. If you caught our previous episodes, you'll know that Sarah has embarked on an exciting journey to watch over 500 films within the next year. That's on average 46 films a month, 9.6 films a week and 1.36 feature films a day. So Sarah, can you give us a little update on your progress? How many films have you watched and what's your favourite film you've seen since the last episode?
I have now watched over 100 films, amazingly, and my favourite films since we last spoke were probably Macbeth, 45 Years and People, Places, Things. And a special mention really needs to be made for Nina Forever. It's a horror movie, so it won't be for everybody. I thought it was fresh and original and absolutely amazing. Definitely recommend that.
I've really been enjoying listening to your reviews on YouTube. I mean, 100 films within, how long has it been?
It's been since December, the beginning of December, basically.
So
I'm doing okay. I'm on track.
So that's very impressive, Sarah. If you want to suggest any films for Sarah to watch, please go onto her YouTube page and search for Sarah 500 Film Challenge, or comment in the box below.
I need inspiration, people. Please, definitely send me recommendations, anything that I might not have heard of or that you particularly like and you want me to add to the list to do a review of. I would love to hear from you. But before we draw things to a close for another month, is there any filmmaking news you'd like to share from the Isle of Man, Emily?
This month, the island has Leeds-based filmmaker Danny Lacey coming across to make films and get involved with the active filmmaking community on the Isle of Man. If you want to follow his journey and find out a bit more information about the film that he's shooting, you can find him on Twitter at Danny Lacey Film, and I'll put a link to that on our blog. Thank you so much for joining us for the 4th episode of Film Focus. It's been so much fun. Please check out the links in the audio and video descriptions below for more from Film Focus. You'll be able to find a blog post on this episode over on our site featuring related links, movie posters, trailers and a summary of our thoughts this week. There's also a space for you to leave your comments and have your say. We'd love to hear from you. We'll be back soon with more from both Sarah and myself. Do join us then.
So that's a wrap on this week's episode.
If you'd like to discover more, find us on Facebook.
Simply search for Film Focus
for screenings, reviews and filmmaking opportunities right here in the Isle of Man.
Thanks for listening to Film Focus with Emily Cook. Happy movie going!